MD is the biggest and baddest hardcore bodybuilding mag and website in the world. MD is #1, no bull.
David Baye here for MuscularDevelopment.com. I am here with Aaron Clark on the eve of the 2014 New York Pro, hanging out at the Millennium Hotel here in downtown New York City. Aaron, coming off a huge finish at the first ever 212 at the Arnold. You got third place behind your 1 and 2 finishers at the Olympia in 2013, so congratulations, huge finish there. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about coming into New York this weekend is the amount of time that you had in between these two shows. Now, if you look at a full off season, obviously you didn't have time for that, but it was also a time frame where you pretty much had March, April, and a couple weeks into May. So, you know, about 10 weeks. It's that time period where you really don't have enough time to go off your diet too much, but at the same time, you're not going to hang on to your conditioning that you had at the Arnold for 10 weeks. You know, talk to everybody. Tell us a little bit about, you know, what you've been doing over the last 10 weeks as far as your training and your diet goes, to try to, you know, find that balance between, you know, staying in good shape for what you have coming up versus, you know, giving yourself giving your body a little bit of a break after a show like the Arnold.
Well, I think that, you know, I went into the Arnold, obviously because it was the first 212 Arnold, you know, it was a big deal for me, especially as a new pro. That was my second pro show. So, you know, with this rise of the 212 class, I really felt like it was important to do that show, especially since I got the invite. But, you know, I really spilled on my beans there, definitely. You know, I did everything I could to bring the best Aaron Clark that I could. And, you know, I would be lying if I told you that I was really ready to come and do it again. I mean, it definitely, I had to dig deep for this because, I mean, if you don't compete, I think it's hard for you to really understand, you know, if these guys who get into that condition, and, you know, it's more than just going to the gym every day. It's, you get into this state of mind that I feel like once the show's over, you're out of it. And it was very hard for me to kind of push myself back into that mentality. But that being said, you know, in the 212 class, being that I weigh in at the top of the class, it wasn't like I'm trying to gain weight. So really what I did was I took a week off from being a bodybuilder, really. I ate whatever the hell I wanted, and I didn't train at all. And then I came, you know, just to kind of put some water, maybe a little fat back on, and a few weeks pretty lax on the diet, just because, you know, if you want to maintain that dense muscle, you have to train hard. I mean, and everybody knows, you know, when you're 2 weeks out, you're not going to be able to train the same as when you were 8 weeks out. So, you know, I had to take, you know, a couple steps back to move forward again. But that being said, I mean, it was hard for sure. But here I am now, and, you know, I can say with confidence that the package that I'm bringing here to New York is actually improved upon from the Arnold. So what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Now, one of the things that everybody who's competed knows is that rebound after a show can be big, and everybody's a little different. I know some guys who put on in a matter of 10, 14 days, 20, 30 pounds, and, you know, you get to that point where you look at yourself in the mirror and you're almost frustrated with, you know how you looked a few weeks ago. If you don't mind me asking, you know, you said you gave yourself a week where you weren't working out at all, a few more weeks of taking it easy on the diet. What did you get up to as far as your weight before you just started pulling back?
After the show, I probably got up to 230. And it's interesting because that's another interesting thing about this 212 class is because as a bodybuilder, and especially as an ectom or as such as myself, who started out as being thin.
Big ass ectom.
Well, I mean, maybe an ectom, as whatever you want to call me, but somebody who has you know, always had a struggle to gain weight. It's interesting to actually be on the other side where it's like, oh, I can't gain weight now, even if it's muscle. So for me personally, I think that I'm different than a lot of guys where I'm not going to gain 30 pounds unless I try to. So I think also, too, when I take that week off, I'm not eating more. I might be eating less because I don't know about everybody else, but for me, a lot of times it's not necessarily that I'm so tired of eating chicken breast. It's that I'm so tired of eating it 6 times a day, scheduled at a certain time. So it is what it is. Everybody's different. You know, I never have really a problem with gaining all that weight unless I try to. But yeah, like I said, that more time, I think more time dieting, more time training with shows in mind. So you're, you know, more structure to everything that you're doing. I think that, you know, that's really what's accountable for the improvements that I've made in just this short period of time.
Now, obviously, going into the show tomorrow, everybody's got you as one of the favorites. You know, you have Guy Cisternino coming in off a big win in Dallas. Baye Abbas-Pour, you know, he's gonna be dangerous. But if we can look into the future a little bit, and I know right now you're just focused on tomorrow. If you get the win tomorrow, or you don't get the win tomorrow, if you get the win tomorrow, you're qualified for the Olympia. If you don't, between your 3rd placing at the Arnold and you know, and obviously I can see in your eyes right now, he's like, I'm not doing anything but winning. You can tell he doesn't. But you know, if we can look forward, you know, do you have any plans past New York? I mean, like we've been talking, you've put your body through a lot, you know, prepping for the Arnold, then prepping for this again. I know there's a 212 in Toronto, a couple other ones coming up. Is there anything on the horizon other than New York, or is it kind of play it by ear, or what are you thinking?
At the moment, play it by ear, because like I said, when I did the Arnold, I wasn't necessarily 100% in on this show. I think that as a pro, though, you got to pace yourself. I mean, everybody only has so much gas in the tank. So whether or not I want to do another show, I need a break. You know, everybody needs a break. And as much as we like to push our body, and everybody likes to preach the hardcore attitude, and as much as I do myself, you got to know when, you know, nobody can go 100% 365 days of the year. And everybody preaches it like they do, but it's not possible. And if you do, good luck with your 2-year career, you know. Okay. So after New York, you know, I'll take a break. And, you know, there's more to life. I mean, even though bodybuilding is my life, I mean, you know, my girl and my family, friends, you know, other, you know, business and just life in general, you know, obviously it all kind of gets pushed aside when we compete at this high level. So, you know, just take a month or 2 and just kind of take a step back. And, you know, I hope to be on the Olympia stage, because that would be a big year for me. If I can place top 3 at the Arnold, do well here, and then do the Olympia, I'll be happy.
Now, you hit on one thing, because you're what, 23, 24 now?
25.
25. Man. Well, whatever. 25. Still very young as far as bodybuilding is concerned. And I like that you touched on the fact that you do have a life on the outside of bodybuilding, that you do give yourself a break. Obviously, for the guys who know me on the boards and stuff in social media, a lot of friends in bodybuilding, and I see a lot of the younger guys who it's like, they just have that mentality where they are willing to push everything aside, but not necessarily just in preparation for a competition, but, you know, year round, because they think that's what you have to do to get there. And it's nice to hear somebody like Aaron, who's obviously one of the most successful pros in the IFBB right now over the course of last year with a 3rd place finish at the Arnold, but also at a very young age. Nice to see him say, like, hey guys, you got to have a life too. So speaking of having a life, we're going to let you get back to yours, get some food in you, get some rest, and hope to see you kick some ass tomorrow. So best of luck for myself and everybody online. So for Aaron Clark and David Baye for MuscularDevelopment.com from the 2014 IFBB New York Pro.
MD is the biggest and baddest hardcore bodybuilding mag and website in the world. MD is #1. No bull.